Jamal Khashoggi walked into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on the 2nd of October. The blurry images of his killers and their target have since been played countless times.
Yani girdi ve çıkmadı. Yani mesela ayrılma yok. İşte bir yere gitme ve yani bir netice yok. Yani insan ölse bile görmesi lazım inanması için.
The regime's critics say the order to kill can only have come from the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia himself, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, often known as MBS. The BBC has learned that the murder of Jamal Khashoggi may not be the first killing alleged to have been carried out by his associates. In November 2017, the Saudi elite was gripped by panic. The Crown Prince ordered more than 200 princes, businessmen, and government officials to be detained at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Riyadh. It was described as an anti-corruption drive. The BBC interviewed Jamal Khashoggi about the events.
The Saudi should give him the benefit of the doubt. But on the same time, shouldn't that be discussed in a consultative body? Yes, we need to crush corruption, but it is being done by one-man rule.
A key figure in the interrogations was this man, Saud al-Qahtani. 12 months later, the Saudis themselves would implicate him in the killing of Khashoggi. Now demoted, he was described as the Crown Prince's fixer and enforcer. During the interrogation of multi-billionaire Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, one of Al-Walid's business contacts was summoned to Riyadh. Al-Qahtani believed Alan Bandar could help persuade the prince to cooperate.
Saud al-Qahtani was bragging about torturing those so-called royals, quotation. That's what they are not real royals. That's what he said. He said, we will treat them like dogs.
After almost 3 months' detention, Al-Walid was released. It's not clear what price he paid. Another detainee was treated more harshly, according to Mahmoud Rifat, a lawyer who has worked for several princes. He's also a long-standing critic of the Saudi regime. He says punishment was meted out to 66-year-old Prince Mit'ab bin Abdullah, former commander of the National Guard and Mohammed bin Salman's uncle. His is a singular account, but he has told us that several family members who were witnesses told him what happened.
سعود القحطاني ضرب عدة أمراء، ضرب عدة أثرياء أيضا. متعب أيضا نقل إلى المستشفى عدة مرات من آثار التعذيب والضرب، حتى أن محمد بن سلمان يعني بعد ذلك وضع مستشفى ميداني في الريتز لكي لا ينقل هؤلاء الأشخاص إلى المستشفيات بعد كل مرة.
A secret informant inside the kingdom has alleged to the BBC that the abuse didn't stop at torture. He says one man was beaten to death at the Ritz-Carlton. We can't independently verify his story, but it tallies with at least 2 other accounts of what took place. Using an encrypted messaging system, the source says the victim is this man, Major General Ali Al-Qahtani, a senior officer in the Saudi National Guard and an aide to one of the princes who had been detained.
لقد ضربه المحقق في وجهه بمضرب وسقط على الأرض. سكبوا عليه الماء ولكنه لم ينهض وتوقف قلبه. أحد حراس السجن أدلى بهذه المعلومات.
Mahmoud Rifat says he's heard about this killing from those close to General Al-Qahtani. He says the general's attackers believed he held damaging information about the Crown Prince and his circle. Rifat describes the secret information as a black box.
أظن أنه كان مقصود قتل هذا الرجل لأن هذا الرجل صندوق أسود لمراحل كثيرة، وهي أيضا الآن أحد الروايات التي يعني تظهر عن جمال خاشقجي أنه من أحد أو من أهم أسباب قتله هو فكرة أنه كان صندوقا أسود، وكمان هو الآخر بما مر به من مراحل مع أسرة آل سعود.
The Ritz-Carlton victims were all high-profile Saudis. It's alleged the attacks could only have been authorized at the highest level.
Saud al-Qahtani wouldn't dare to take such steps into a plan with this magnitude without direct order from MBS, and he only reports to MBS.
In the summer of 2018, an all-Saudi squad of 50 officers was created to target opponents both inside and outside the kingdom, according to a BBC source in Saudi Arabia who has a relative in the squad. They're known as the Tiger Team. The source also says that 15 men suspected of killing Khashoggi were part of this unit. Dr. Saad Al-Faqih is a well-known critic of the Saudi leadership now living in London. He claims to know about the Tiger Team.
It was supposed to target and kill dissidents outside the country and inside the country. Outside the country, people in Canada, people in Europe, even in America. And dissidents inside the country, people who the regime does not want fuss to be made about their arrests.
What made Jamal Khashoggi a candidate for assassination? As a respected international commentator, he first welcomed what Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman might bring to Saudi Arabia. By 2017, as he made clear to the BBC, he'd revised his opinion.
Today, it is ruled by only one man, not even within the family. He has no one close to him, even within the family. He is the sole leader of Saudi Arabia. One-man rule is always problematic, always end with a disaster, whether in Germany or in Iraq or in Saudi Arabia.
In the last 2 years of his life, Khashoggi became even more outspoken. On Twitter, he praised the Muslim Brotherhood, an organization banned in Saudi Arabia. And he was hired by the Washington Post to write about what he called the repressive and unbearable regime in Saudi Arabia. For these things, it seems he paid with his life. Riyadh has now accepted that the murder was premeditated. But who authorized it?
Anybody who takes a decision in the kingdom defers to MBS before they act. Is it conceivable that there could have been intelligence operatives, members of the security establishment who were trying to impress their master and miscalculated? Possibly.
Saudi Arabia has stated that the operation was carried out by a team acting without the knowledge or authorization of the royal court. They say Saud Al-Qahtani was in charge of the team sent to Istanbul. The BBC has established that he has not been back to his office since the death of Khashoggi. Saudi media say Saud Al-Qahtani has been fired, along with several other officials.
Sorumlularının, yapanların, emri verenlerin, bütün yani genel anlamda olaya bütün olarak baktığımız zaman elbette ki bir sorumlusu var. Yani emri veren kişi var. Yani emri veren kişiden uygulayanlara kadar herkesin biz yargılanmasını talep ediyoruz.
Saudi Arabia's recent actions have attracted massive global attention, most of it hostile. Ironically, Jamal Khashoggi's death has subjected the Saudi government and the man who runs it to the sort of scrutiny nothing he wrote could ever have achieved.
And you can see a longer version of that film on Our World on the BBC News channel on Saturday and Sunday evening at 9:30. The BBC asked Saud Al-Qahtani for a response to our allegations and received no reply. The Saudi government has told the BBC its investigation into Khashoggi's death will be thorough, transparent and wide-ranging. Saudi law enforcement officials are working with their Turkish counterparts to uncover the facts, and a number of individuals are currently in custody. Saudi Arabia is establishing robust mechanisms to ensure that such an abhorrent incident can never be repeated. A committee chaired by HRH, the Crown Prince, will reform the General Intelligence Presidency. The BBC also asked the Crown Prince's office whether Mohammed bin Salman had ever sanctioned torture and killing. They said, "We categorically deny and reject these false claims, which are completely baseless and untrue." The Anti-Corruption Committee pursued its mandate in a responsible and judicious way. The law of criminal procedures guarantees defendants' rights and prohibits subjecting the detainees to any harm.